Hey, I'm Decathlon Gamer. Welcome back to Tennis Manager. This is episode 36. We have reached the pinnacle. We were already as good, if not better, than all of the other academies that are out there, but we are now the full 5 tennis ball academy, aka 5-star academy. Team is still only up to 4 stars. Training is at 4, medical's at 4.5. Most of that is down to personnel because it's your personnel combined with your facilities that makes up those ratings. And as we got the facilities essentially up to maximum, it finally pushed us that little bit higher where we were then able to finally get better staff. And the better staff was instantly picking these ratings up, that even though you had just hired staff that was of a mediocre level, suddenly the mediocre level, which was better than the bad level, raised that profile, and then you could immediately turn around and hire even better staff than the one you had just hired. So it was kind of this folding ladder that was piling on one thing after another. Well, anyway, here we are. We're into this higher stage now, and yeah, we're now five tennis balls. So we can pretty much start getting after all those level 9 staff members and getting the best that are out there and see where it can help carry this team. At the moment, we have one space available, and I'd love to fill it soon, but here's the thing. I think it's time we do sign on a big time player. And to do so, I don't necessarily want to go as much as I want to bring in like Raducanu or Corey Goff, who are just phenomenal young talents. Big part of me wants to actually just dig a little bit lower and get somebody that isn't quite there yet, but will be there soon, like Nagonye, uh, maybe an Ann Lee or a Montgomery, that we can still take them on their journey, right? They're not quite there. Like in real life, not in the game, because in game she's already a 5-star talent. Like Raducanu would be a wonderful example of somebody you're like, okay, somebody with obvious potential. She came out of nowhere, won the U.S. Open. Clearly, there's potential, but it hasn't quite come together outside of one tournament thus far, and so her rankings fallen right back off now that it's been just over a year since she had that U.S. Open win, and she's barely inside the top 100 right now. So that's somebody who still has a ways to go yet. Somebody who everybody believes has potential, and there was a big period there where it was going from her semi-pro amateur type coach that she had at the time into someone major to give her that push. And I think that was a process that didn't go terribly well. And there's always that problem of expectation once you do get there. Let me give you a quick example of what I'm talking about. So in college, this is a long time ago, okay, close in on 20 years ago. In college, I had a little bit of free time, had the right group of friends, dating the right girl at the time, where we threw together a team and did a bowling league for like one session. And then I graduated, and that was it. Group broke up, never to do a bowling league again. But I did a bowling league for one session. I'm a lefty. I learned how to do my hook shot. I still have the hook shot to these days, and I can still throw together a decent game and get a 140, 150, 160-ish once in a while here. But that's playing once every year and a half or 2 years. But during that one session, that one league season, I went from somebody who was at the start of it getting like a 90 and a 100, and then I learned the hook shot, and then all of a sudden the score started coming up as I gained some consistency with it, and I was hitting like a 140 type average mid-season. And just a little past that mid-season, it clicked. It really came together. And pretty much out of nowhere, because I don't think I had ever topped about 160 had been my max, I hit a 208, which is nowhere near perfect. 300 is a perfect score, but 208's, starting to get up there. 200 plus is getting up there. And I was getting up there. 208. Things just absolutely clicked. So next game, literally the next game I played, I expected to get 210. Or at least, 180 at the least, right? It was like, oh, I've got this now. And that expectation led to frustration when it wouldn't click. Then I started tweaking things and I started getting in my head, and then the shots just didn't come together. And all of a sudden, I was back to not only not getting that like 160, 150, I wasn't even getting my 140. I was back down around 130 following that 208 game. For weeks, that frustration persisted, that I couldn't live up to my new expectation of putting together something like that or similar to that. I finally let it go late in the year and got back up around those high 150s, low 160s as a typical. I never did and never have gotten anywhere near that again, and I think the closest I've gotten is right about a 170 in the years since. Now I don't have that expectation, but I hadn't been bowling in a couple of years. I went bowling a couple weeks ago and had about a 160, 162, something like that in the first game. Second game, there was that expectation factor again, and I started really slow, had a really poor first few frames until I took that moment, breathe, calm down, doesn't matter, just play. And then I got rolling again. I didn't quite get back to that 160 range in the next game. I got about a 140, but those first few frames are what cost me those points. I think Raducanu is going through that sort of phase right now. She's picked up a lot of fame. She's got a lot of attention. She's picked up a lot of sponsorship deals. And in particular, the UK has had, if not still, in the 6 months following, really grown fond of her, and she was a media darling there for a little while. So Raducanu had a whole lot of pressure piled on her. Now, at some point during that US Open run, it's going to start to dawn on you that eyes are on you and that things are going in a certain manner. But a lot of things went, perfect storm of right for that tournament win for Raducanu. And to follow that up is so tough. I still think she's going to get there. She's young. Even in game, she's only 23, and it's, 2026 right now? So, she's very young. The potential is clearly there, but when she'll hit that stride is still that lurking question. When will she get the right partnership with the right coach to make that progress, to push her into being a regular contender? It's hard to get to the top and stay at the top. Some players do it and they just get there and they manage it, and we had somebody who just retired who was very much at the top of the game. But it's hard to get there and stay there. It's hard to replicate. But anyway, back to my point of I don't want to get a 5-star talent who's ready to win right now. Development's a big part of this game. I don't want to just hire the number one player in the world and go, haha, go win. Good job. I don't mind picking up somebody who's, top 50, top 25-ish and push them over that edge. It's different when they're already there. Last year it was really nice when Raducanu was, totally out of nowhere and a 3-star talent and trying to get her there. But then she was, it's more like a 2.5-star, 3.5 potential type talent. Things are different now. And kind of going full circle here, bring it back I'm not going to make an offer just yet. It's almost the end of March. Let's wait and see where our finances are at here in just a moment. But there's going to be a signing bonus, like whoever we go after up here. And there could be complications if we don't have enough put away. Let's put a little bit more away before we go after a signing. But I think my first choices are going to be like a Nagounier or Montgomery, somewhere right in this area that has that really high potential but isn't quite there yet. Maybe a Katrina Scott, the 3-4.5. That would be a pretty easy signing and somebody who clearly has some, pretty serious potential. Season report. So for uni, we've gone from 36th up to 24th. And I don't know if it's going to calculate the tournament win that we just had. So it actually could already be a bit higher than it was. Really good stretch for her, obviously. Grant flying up the rankings now that we finally got her into World Tour. In the juniors, though, just one tournament. So she is falling down the order, but only slightly because she did get a couple wins in that tournament. Jovic, not a great stretch. Not a great stretch at all. 6 tournaments, 6 losses without a single win. Lackey, moving on up. Top 50 now. 8 tournaments played. One of them was a victory. Good win percentage. Hetherington literally just joined us. It's been, a week? 2 weeks? She just won a tournament today. It's not going to be counted here. That should give her a bit of a boost to her ranking from where it's at right now. But that was, 2 tournament wins? And that makes 3 out of 7. Junior rankings disappearing, though. Only a single tournament, and she lost in that first round. Here's the new rankings, by the way. So Hetherington jumps from just outside of the top 200 to 166. Lackey's up a spot. Jovic is up 5 spots. She's nearly into the top 100. Grant continues to climb. And Uni up to 16th with that tournament win. This week we head to Bogota, and much smaller tournament this time, 250 or 280, whatever. And Lackey is the 10 seed for this one into the second round, and she's got a nice matchup ahead of her, though Benchik in the quarterfinals would obviously be a tough one if she gets there. Nagounier is here, and there's one reason, right? Nagounier, perfect target. We've got a Lackey who just climbed into the top 50. We've got a Nagounier who's right there. That's an intriguing prospect for sure. Uni, unfortunately, has a seeded player as her first round opponent. We'll have a seeded player as her second round opponent, assuming she gets through. So really can't get a much harder draw than we have managed to get in this one. Also, the quarterfinal would be the 2 seed. So likely crazy unlucky on that part in terms of the draw. I mean, that's literally the hardest draw she could have possibly had, you would think. I don't see any other draw that's tougher. We'll see what she can do in this one, though. I mean, why not, right? We just won a big tournament. She's a good player. Round didn't make it easy on herself, losing in the tiebreaker, but we come back 6-3, 6-4 in the second and third sets. Winners, +10 is the edge. Unforced errors, -6. 6-1 on the aces and faults. Good job with the break points. It was close. It was pretty close, wasn't it? So far, the tournament's pretty much going right according to plan. Benchik and Lackey are playing in that quarterfinal. Other than Halep losing through forfeit, you've had all the higher seeds getting through. So for us, that should mean we get through one more round, and then we lose in the quarterfinals, at least on paper. That's how that one looks. But of course, we've just moved up into the 16th rank, so we should be better than Fernandez now, right? Siniakova is a decent enough opponent, but we are heavily favored. And not the easiest match. The first set was certainly easy, but that second set went all the way to tiebreakers, but we were +21 in those winners. and kept it clean. Lackey made it close in the quarters, but could not get through. And that's a 1-4 matchup in the first semi. And either a 2-3 or maybe a 3-7 matchup for the other semi. We'll see what we can do in this one. This is kind of the point where you would want to watch, but it's a small tournament. Let's just get on past this. Fernandez. We've actually flipped ranks. She drops 7. She goes down to 23rd after a poor performance in the round of 16 at Miami and round of 64 in Indian Wells. So she's a little bit out of form, where we are very much in form. And 7-5, 6-3. So we are through into the semis, and we're in pretty good shape now. Benchik has already qualified for the final. Now it's the 3 seed. We've knocked off the 2. Can we also knock off the 3? Can we knock off the 1? Can we basically take out all of the top opposition in this one? Her ranking is unchanged. She's still 17, only 1 spot below the other one, and actually ahead of her in the rankings now. And unlike that last match, this is seen as balanced. And we are into the final, though it was definitely close. 6-3, 6-7, 6-2. Break points. We won 4 out of those 5. She only saved 1 break point. So that was a big key in this game. 47-50 on the total winners, so it was very close. Unforced errors was also within 1. This was a pretty tight matchup. I thought we had played a couple times before, but I guess not. Benchik, our next opponent, we are now just 1 spot away in the rankings when we entered this tournament, though obviously not the seeding. This is a final, even though it's a small tournament, so we'll go ahead and play this one out, see how we do. She's always had a good record, but now at 29, she's just starting to fade a little bit in the rankings. Well, we've already claimed the first point in this one, but as it's a smaller tournament, I'm not too terribly worried. We're going to fly through set number 1 and then see how we are performing in time. In terms of the normal check-in, we're enthusiastic. She's unfazed, so we have a mental advantage. And the physical one, we were almost fully fit. She was definitely not fully fit, but still at like 90%. It could give us an advantage if this goes to 3 sets. First set, we're up 5-4, and at 40 love with serve, we are looking to put this one away. And she misses on that one, and we do. First set is ours, 6-4, and now she's also troubled, and the fatigue part is setting in a little bit higher, down to about 75% after the and we break in the very first game, so we've already got the advantage to this second set. If we can hold serve, we'll keep that advantage, but we don't. She breaks us now, and it's right back to 1-1. Looking to break again, as she's already battled back to even, and we do break her. So at 3-2, well, for the second time in this set, we're looking to have an advantage, but the last time we broke her, she immediately broke us right back, but not this time. It's 4-2. Every game's been close, no matter who's been serving. Now 4-3. 30 love. 40 love. This is the first time a game has not been very close, and this could put us on the brink. It is 5-3. Quick start to her must win. It's probably going to bring her back a game at least and keep her alive a little bit longer, but we are getting awfully close. It's 5-4. I guess we must have missed long on that one. Nice winner there. 15 love. Oh. Thought that was a easily reachable ball, but guess not. 15 all.
Out. 15-30.
Oh, that looked good. Certainly wasn't wide. The only thing it could have been was long, but it didn't look long.
30 all.
We get that one. feel like it should be 40-15, but I guess not. Out's out, right?
30-40.
Now, I didn't say a word about it, but I got frustrated with a referee last night. It's volleyball season. I coach volleyball, and it was 23 all, game to 25, and we win the game, we win the match. And 23 all, I've got my best server serving, so she's on a little bit of a run here. We caught up from behind, couple points down anyway, and she serves over, and the defense in their serve receive barely even get a piece of the ball. So the ball's going, just slicing out of bounds, nowhere near play. None of the players are going for it, as we have advantage. It's match point here. And the line judge just stops the ball and, flags that it's out and goes to send the ball back to my server where it should be 24-23. The ref decides to replay the point because the assistant referee touched the ball, and then 2 points later, a serve is sent right at him. He just grabs it. Still a live ball, but he grabs it. And no replay on that one, right? Anyway, needless to say, our 24-23 did not go the way you wanted, as we have won the tournament 6-4, 6-4. My perplexed server, who was very confused and frustrated with that call and without the point being given, rolls her eyes and throws the ball up to serve the next one and drills it a million miles an hour, or something like that. Drills it right into the net. Fuming. And so now, instead of it being 24-23 and her comfortably going for the match winner, she serves it into the net. Now it's 23-24, and they go and get one over. And then the same player, still mad, passes it, drills it straight into the net. So we lose 23-25, and then went on to lose the match in the decisive third game. And a close one there too. Went to extra points. But yeah, that frustration in that moment. Just one harsh, decisive call can change everything. Clearly, Uni was not impacted, though, by that call, as she went on to win. We are so close now. The infrastructure, final upgrade, ongoing, and just a month from completion. Just one left. With a much stronger performance this season, here's where Uni stands compared to other players. She's up to 13th in the rankings now, by the way. And there are some players that have that crazy high, but, not good ranking. They're just small tournaments. There is Uni, still right near the top. Uni has the best serve points won percentage. And at 42%, she's definitely up there. Hetherington, who we just signed, is equal on top at 49%. Tiebreakers one can be deceiving, as there's certainly some players that might have a 100% win record out of, one or just two times that they've been in tiebreakers. Ace percentage is clearly an area where we could improve. I don't think we're terribly high in the ace percentage. But Uni is very good with first serves. 76% in. That is one area we kind of key in on. She's got high accuracy, but not a ton of power, so she has a tendency to get them in. and that's good enough for third best in the world. That ace percentage is just 5% for her. 0 on the double faults, so that's going to be definitely up there near the top. Our next 1,000 level tournament is in Madrid. We are the 13 seed and 13th ranked player entering this one. First round bye, not an easy second round match, and definitely not an easy round of 16. Let's see how we fare in these next couple of rounds. We're through the first 6-3, 6-2. Well, I guess second round. It's going to be tough to get past Fervertova, who is 4th in the world. But again, we're balanced. We've got a shot against anybody, but this one is enough to knock us out. 6-7, 4-6. Our first loss, actually, in a while for Uni. But definitely not a bad performance in any way. 59 winners to 68. It's a -9, but 59 winners is good. Unforced errors was identical at 10. We had 2 aces each. We had no double faults to her 2. And breakpoints saved both players. Really, really good. She was 8 for 8. 16 times we faced breakpoint. 15 we saved. Negotiations with Nagunye have gone fairly well. Patience is still quite high. It's going to take almost every cent we have to get her signed, but she is willing to sign. We'll see if she actually commits to the deal, but she's well above the threshold where we'd fear whether she completes the deal or not. So it looks like we may have our 6th player on their way. Staff is nearly full for the time being, and we're making that final move. Kind of set to get into the final phase of this playthrough, and that final phase being targeting some Grand Slams. In the case of Nagunye, she's got juniors Grand Slams. She's got a junior finals victory. She was that main competitor that we were going up against when we were in the juniors. But in terms of senior stuff, 3 25 level tournaments and 100 level tournament is all that she's actually managed, and she's only up to 50th. High intelligence, good across the board, but not great. Speed, agility, natural fitness are all 1 point away from getting to that, happy zone of 13 plus. Stamina's got a little ways to go, and her hot shots have a couple levels to go, but otherwise everything's in that happy zone, in the manageable attributes. And then it's just a matter of pushing her to that next level like Uni. And with that super high potential and being an early bloomer, she should get there pretty quickly, you would think. That is going to do it for this episode, though. I'm Decathlon Gamer. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Have a good one. Be safe out there. Bye for now.